I don't think about Americans' financial situation. I don't think about anybody.
Credit scores don't fucking matter. Like, they do in the sense that people care, but credit scores are fake. They were made up in like the 80s. If you file for bankruptcy, you can get your credit score above 700 fairly quickly. Like, it's literally only been a year since my debt was discharged and I'm above 700. So it's like, you can get it above 700. And the fears and the stigma that is associated with bankruptcy are like not as warranted as people think they are. Like, you have a lot more freedom after bankruptcy than people realize that you do. And I'm here to discredit the fearmongers. Like, that's my goal. But no, you don't have to care about it. Like, if you got what you need, good. The only reason we have to care about credit scores is because we got to play the game to a certain extent to be able to get loans and whatever. But if you got everything you need, don't fucking worry about it.
Millions of Americans are quietly reaching a financial breaking point, and some people are starting to respond in a way that would have sounded unthinkable a few years ago. They're giving up on paying bills altogether. Not because they're lazy, not because they don't care, but because many people feel like no matter how hard they work, they still can't get ahead. Rent is high, groceries are expensive, car payments, insurance, credit cards, medical debt, everything keeps stacking up. And for a lot of Americans, the pressure has become so constant that they're mentally checking out. People are literally choosing which bills survive each month. Others are ignoring debt completely, not answering collection calls, letting accounts go late, or deciding that protecting their peace feels more realistic than trying to win a financial game that they already feel defeated by. And honestly, that emotional shift alone says something really big about the economy right now. Because when enough people stop believing that hard work creates stability, people stop planning for the future, stop believing they'll own homes, stop believing retirement is realistic, stop believing the system is even built for ordinary people anymore. So this is not just about unpaid bills. This is about financial burnout, emotional exhaustion, and millions of people are reaching a point where survival feels more realistic than actual success.
I went to college, I worked, and we can't buy a home. What did I do wrong? I'm a nurse and I love it. I love it. It's great.
And what does your husband do?
He's a manufacturing tech at Intel. So we have pretty good jobs, decent jobs.
Do you feel like those jobs are enough to cover your living expenses? And
not even close. We pay about $3,000 in rent. We have all of the utilities. We have car payments, car insurance, mouths to feed, and gas. Maybe we have enough left over for groceries and toiletries and household stuff. Why are we struggling?
About a year ago, I kind of had a nervous breakdown and stopped participating in capitalism. And what I mean by that is I stopped paying my bills and stopped giving a shit about my credit score that I had been working years and years and years to fix, because as I paid more and more, they were like, penalty. And so I was like, you know what? I don't even care. I just stopped. And now I'm getting all these things in the mail where they're like, you owe us money. And I'm like, prove it. And my credit score is somehow going up. It's like, we see all the hard work you've done at ignoring this. So we're going to give you points, because that's, I think, how it really works. So anyway, I guess the point is none of this is real. We're on a big floating rock in the middle of, the universe. And it's all made up and the points don't matter. You're doing great.
All right. Credit card debt in the U.S. is hit a record 18.4 trillion. That's credit card balances, ladies and gentlemen. What that means is that is $70,000 per adult. It's because families are facing mounting financial pressures. Groceries are up 29%. Inflation has gone up again at 2.8%. Electricity went up 13% average in 2025, and electricity is supposed to go up another 9% in 2026. We now pay an extra tax called a tariff of anywhere from 10 to 147%. 1.2 million Americans lost their job last year in 2025, and more are going to lose their job in 2026. Hi, my name's Christina. I have a master's degree in business. Already in 2026, 58 to 60% of companies are expecting to do layoffs. 1 out of 4 people unemployed, 25%, have been unemployed for 27 weeks or longer. This is why people are using credit. They are absolutely stretched thin. This is a sign that people are struggling. The top 10 states with credit card delinquencies, 9 out of 10 are in red states. The top people struggling are the top 2, Florida and Texas. Yes, red state. Buckle up, ladies and gentlemen. 2026 is going to be even worse.
Anyone else worried about their bills right now? Like, for me personally, my take-home paychecks are less than how much I have to spend on bills per pay period. Like, I don't know what's happened in the last several months. Like, last year, I was in a position where I had enough money in my account to pay for my bills. Now, I'm worried that my account is going to overdraft because the amount I get paid is less than how much my bills cost for that pay period. And honestly, it's a scary feeling. Like, to be in a position where you don't have enough money to pay your bills and you have to tap into your savings, or you have to do a cash advancement or something like that, like, that's really scary. And I fear that it's only going to get worse. Like, I might be in a position where I clear out my savings because I don't have enough money to pay my bills. Anyone else feel that way, or is it just me?
You wake up already behind, you go to work just to stay broke, and you watch the cost of everything rise while your paycheck doesn't move an inch. Groceries are a luxury, rent is robbery, healthcare is a joke, and somehow we're the ones blamed for not budgeting better. People are working 2-3 jobs and still choosing between food or gas. Families are crammed into apartments because buying a house became a fantasy. You can't afford to get sick, you can't afford to rest, you can't afford to exist. But they keep telling us the economy's strong. Strong for who? Because it sure as hell isn't the people doing the work. We're out here treading water while billionaires build rockets, politicians trade stocks, and corporations raise prices just because they can. We were promised opportunity, we got survival. And what makes this worse is watching people blame themselves. Like somehow you failed because you can't afford a 1-bedroom anymore. Like you didn't do enough, when the truth is the math just stopped adding up years ago. They told us to work harder, but never told us they'd change the finish line. This isn't a country full of lazy people. It's a country full of exhausted ones. Simple as that.
So why does Trump keep saying affordability is a Democratic scam when Americans can't even pay their bills? Because he's not denying your reality. He's denying responsibility. And the word scam is a shortcut to protect himself, his donors, and his strategy. If Trump admits affordability is a crisis, then people will expect him to fix it. And fixing it means explaining why wages are flat, why prices are high, and why corporations are taking record profits. All roads lead back to corporate price gouging, consolidation, deregulation, and his tariffs. The exact things his donors want. So instead of addressing the pain, he just says the pain isn't real. If the crisis is fake, he owes you nothing. No plan, no policy, no solutions. Here's the real truth. A recession benefits Trump and his donors. Recessions are profitable for billionaires. That's when private equity buys everything cheap. That's when wages go down and profits go up. So he sets the narrative now. If things get worse, he'll say Democrats lied. And if prices fall because demand collapses, he'll say, look, I fixed it. Your suffering becomes his political storyline. Calling affordability a scam also protects his donors from regulation. If he acknowledged the crisis, people would demand price caps, antitrust enforcement, taxes on windfall profits, actual consumer protections. His donors don't want any of that. So he pretends the entire crisis was invented by Democrats, not because the pain isn't real, but because regulating corporate behavior would cost him support from the people funding his entire operation. And all of this fits perfectly into phase 2, the consolidation of power phase. Phase 2 requires one thing: for you to believe the system is lying to you. If he can't convince you, the media lies, the data lies, the experts lie, and even your own bank account is somehow a political trick, then you're more willing to accept him firing staff, replacing agencies, overriding regulators, and centralizing control upward. Deny the crisis, undermine the trust, justify the takeover. And calling affordability a scam also redirects your anger. People are exhausted and furious, but if that anger ever turns toward corporations, monopolies, landlords, donors, or the policies that caused this mess, he loses his entire coalition. So he hands you a simple villain. Democrats are lying to you. It's emotional misdirection, because if you're focused on Democrats, you're not noticing who's actually driving up your prices. Trump isn't calling affordability a scam because it's fake. He's calling it a scam because admitting it would expose the people funding him, and the strategy he's building his entire second term on. Americans deserve so much better.
But at the end of the day, this conversation is probably less about unpaid bills and more about the financial mindset many people are developing right now. When people spend years feeling stretched by rent, groceries, debt, and everyday expenses, it slowly changes the way we think about money and the future. For some people, it creates anxiety, for others, exhaustion. And that doesn't mean that ignoring bills is a solution, but it does explain why so many people emotionally relate to these conversations online. Because beneath the jokes, the TikToks, and frustration, there's a larger feeling that a lot of Americans seem to share lately, that life feels financially heavier than it used to. And when enough people begin feeling that way at the same time, it naturally becomes bigger than personal finance. It becomes a reflection of how people are experiencing the economy itself.